Today we're going to talk to you about the psychology of ignoring your ex. Now, as human beings, we're biologically driven by pain and by pleasure. So we seek pain, we either seek to avoid pain or we seek out pleasure. Now, what controls our life is the meaning that we associate to a given situation. And that meaning that we associate will determine our behavior. Now, we already know breakups are a very painful and emotionally heightened situation. So after the breakup, you're behaving in a manner that is trying to avoid that pain because you're associating the breakup with something that's painful and you're seeking pleasure in your ex. Your ex was the source of your pleasure and you're doing whatever it takes to get them back. And that's incorrect because the source of your pleasure should be you. You need to start putting focus on yourself, your happiness, your self-improvement, the things that you enjoy, finding your purpose, things that make you smile, things that make you happy, and surrounding yourself around people who care about you and love you unconditionally. So it's time to take the spotlight off of your ex and put it on yourself. And when you do that, that's when the magic happens. And one of the ways it's going to affect your ex psychologically when you ignore them is that they're going to become angry. They're going to become angry that you're not chasing.
So a lot of you guys are probably thinking, well, if I blow their phone up, they're gonna get mad if I keep calling them and go up to their work and stuff like that. And if I do no contact, they're gonna get mad at that too. Yeah, but the thing is, no contact spikes the good emotions. Okay, you want them to. There's angry emotions, like the emotions like, this guy's a creep, he's crazy, he's coming to my work, he just doesn't get it, he keeps blowing my phone up. Yeah, she's gonna get mad at that. Or they can get mad saying, well, they're not calling me, they're not blowing my phone up, but they're supposed to. This is the point where they actually get sad because I broke up with them and they're supposed to start chasing me right now. Okay, so those are the good emotions. That's what you want to happen. You want them to doubt the breakup. You want them to feel like they made a mistake, okay? You want to hit their emotions. That's the trigger point right there. That's the big kabang. That's the big fireworks show right there, is when you start hitting their emotions and the script gets completely flipped. Okay, the dumper is regretting what they did. They feel stupid for what they did now because you did nothing, literally nothing. You walked away and you did nothing. And that's the power of no contact.
And another way that ignoring your ex is going to affect them psychologically is by them missing you. Now, at the time, it's just, look, anybody with a third grade education can understand that you miss someone when they're away. When you're away, that's when they can miss you. You can't miss someone when they're in your presence. When you're in their face, when you're begging, please, especially with the negative emotions that he just talked about. But when you're blowing their phone up, when you're calling them, you're calling their mom and you're doing drive-bys at the job and you're staking out down the street from their house, trying to, spy and wonder about what's going on. They take you for granted and you don't allow them the opportunity to miss you. Now, you're doing everything it takes to get them back, and that's the wrong move to do. Like he just said, the best situation in many instances is to not do nothing. The best behavior in many situations is to not do anything. No action is an action. And by you ignoring your ex, now you're allowing them to be able to miss you on a level that they're not taking you for granted anymore by you being in their face, texting them every day, texting them essays, sending pictures. Like, remember when we went to Hawaii for our anniversary last year, and trying to get them to feel emotions, good emotions about you and sadness about the breakup. That has to happen on their own. That has to happen on their doing. And you can promote that. You can set that into motion by removing your attention and allowing that to happen organically. Because if you try to continue to push and do things that are detrimental, they're not going to really grasp the emotional context of it, because they're being force-fed that. It's not something that happens naturally, and emotions happen naturally, especially with women. They want to feel like it's their idea to get back with you. So by you removing your attention is going to allow that space to happen, because that's when the nostalgia comes from that mystery and that curiosity that's created by you leaving and ignoring them. That's when they'll start to look back at old Facebook photos like, this happened a year ago and today, a year ago on this date. They'll see a picture of you and her at Cedar Point or Six Flags, and they'll start to get nostalgic But that same photo may come up in their feed while you're blowing them up, and then now they have feelings of disgust, like, oh, I don't want to see this. Because if they did happen to see that when you're blowing them up and you're doing all the detrimental behavior, they can see that same photo and they don't have the same reaction as they would 6 months down the line when you're not in contact with them anymore. They say, oh, I don't want to see this because he's blowing me up right now. He's acting needy and desperate, so that connotation isn't there. A positive connotation isn't there. But by you going no contact and 4 months has gone by since you saw them and they're feeling sad and they feeling like they miss you a little bit, they'll look at that photo very fondly because that emotional connection, that connotation is there, because now they really miss you and it means more than it did if they saw it a week or so after the breakup.
So guys, the moment you go no contact and you're not calling them up, they're gonna start wondering about you. So guys, I want you guys to be prepared for this. They're gonna start poking at you. They're gonna be like, how come Murphy isn't calling me? How come he isn't like texting me? Well, does he even care? Did he find somebody new already? All right, so they're gonna start like poking at you and just kind of like, this is when they may throw like little tantrums at you or just call you up just to complain about something or something, just to see if they can get that reaction out of you guys. So you gotta keep your guard up and you gotta be ready for that. The best action to take in a situation like that is to be chill, cool, happy, playful, charming. Just let it ride, you guys. If your ex calls you up complaining or she's mad at something while you're trying to do the no contact thing, just look at him like a little kid. Like, okay, well, you know what? Hey, listen, I'm not really trying to argue with you. I'm a little tied up right now, sweetie, but hey, best of luck. Hey, get a hold of me later on. I'll give you some time to cool off or something to that effect, But don't feed into the reaction. Don't feed into them poking you, and don't start like, engaging in the argument or the conversation that they're having.
And another way that ignoring your ex affects them psychologically is due to the fear of missing out. That's another biological drive human beings have, is we all want to be included. We're all wired to be social and communal people, to interact with each other. And everything in society, back to the tribal days, like our brains are 2 million years old, so we're not biologically evolved as we think we are. So we all react to things that have value. We make an assessment that has value, that has more value than that. So we all are wired to seek out things that have higher value, especially the things that we can kind of reach out and touch, that's not so far out of our reach. And we all want to be included in that. So if you go into a room and there's 4 people talking and they're kind of talking amongst themselves and they laugh, your attention is going to be perked up. You're going to say, oh, what are they laughing about? Because you want to enjoy that too. You want to know what they're laughing about. You want to be included. So we have a desire to be included in things. But when you go no contact, even though it was your ex's decision to leave you, over time they're going to say, well, I want them too. Like, why are they leaving me? Why are they removing themselves from my life right now? Especially if you're doing the work to improve yourself. Because that emotional spike of them saying, well, what's going on with them? Is there something I did? Yeah, you broke up with them, that's what you did. But they're saying, well, do they not want me anymore? At one point they did, and now they're not. Well, what's going on in their life? Did they meet somebody else? Did they meet somebody better than me? Why was it 3 weeks ago they were blowing my phone up and they were begging to get back with me? They wanted me back so bad, now they're not. Did they find something else what's going on in their life that's now diverting their attention from me to the point where they don't even reach out to me anymore? What is happening in their life that's so special that they're not putting the attention on me anymore? It's very egotistical for them to say that, especially when they left you. It's, but hey, this is the nature of the beast in relationships. Things are messy. But now you're exclusive. Your attention is exclusive. We always say your presence is a present. So you're treating it as such now. And by you leaving, your value is being raised. And that's compounding by you doing the work to improve yourself. And they may see that because now they're stalking your social media. They're looking at your TikTok. They're looking at your Twitter. You talked about how you got a power lift meet and you've done therapy and you started a blog. They're going to be on your blog. They want to see what you're doing. They're missing out because now you took the power back. They had all the power. They had the choice to leave you. It was their decision. You go no contact. You took the power back and you say, look, I'm going to decide what happens in my life anymore. I'm not going to be reactionary. I'm going to decide how this plays out. And now you took the reins back and you're rewriting the story after the breakup, and now they're missing out on it, and that intrigues them even more.
Because you guys, you gotta think, nobody is a saint in a relationship. You know, we all make mistakes. You know, not too many people can actually sit there and say, hey, I did absolutely nothing wrong throughout the relationship. You know, everybody does a little something wrong here and there. And again, you guys need that time. Even, you know, it's because it gets to a point at the end of the relationship where you guys just start fighting over the most pettiest, stupidest things in the world. Like the smallest little, like, hey, you left a dish in the sink, a dish in the sink. Are you really gonna fight with somebody and break up with somebody over a dish in the sink? Well, when it comes to the end of the relationship and you keep fighting over petty stuff all day, every day, yeah, probably, you know. So that's why it's good to take that break. Sometimes it's really good to take that little break in a relationship, especially if you're married to somebody for like 10 years. You know, and a little breakup occurs, guys. Don't panic. You know, nobody wants to break up. Like nobody wants to go 10-year relationship with kids, and then all of a sudden, you know, a breakup occurs and they don't want you in their life again. Nobody was ever born. No kid ever grew up saying, you know, I wanna have a baby mama and a wife and have to do the whole custody and this and that and go to court and all that stuff. Like nobody wants that. People like want to make the relationship work, but the thing is, you have to know how to make your relationship work. You have to know like what to do, what not to do, you know, a proper way to talk to them. That's something we talk about on our Patreon page a lot, you guys. We're gonna have a link in the description so you guys can actually check it out. We're gonna be posting more videos about that pretty soon. But you have to like understand like relationships in order to have a successful relationship, so you don't have to end up where you're at right now, like, you know, with the anxiety and hurt feeling over a breakup. All right, it's the time. Time is not your enemy. Time is on your side, you guys. You gotta value that. The time is gonna all those petty things you used to fight about, it's gonna take the time. The time is gonna heal those wounds, okay? The time is gonna help your ex get over all the little petty fights you were getting in, to the point where you could ask like, what were you guys fighting at? You know, why'd you guys break up? She's gonna forget about that dang dish you left in the sink that Wednesday when you guys had pizza night together or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Little stuff like that. So let time work with you, not against you.
So look at this time period of going no contact as a blessing and an opportunity to really do a lot of incredible things, whether that involves your ex coming back or moving on altogether from the breakup. That's why we have another video dedicated to that topic to the left. So go ahead and click that video and we'll see you on the flip side.
Peace.